What's going on YouTube? This is Wayne with Wayne's Fish World. I'm going to try to make this video as short as possible because I keep rambling too much. Anyways, today guys, we're going to be talking about driftwood in the aquarium. Adding driftwood. Why do people add driftwood to the aquarium? There's two main reasons that come to my mind. The number one reason is decoration. The second reason is for replicating natural environments. The number one reason decoration is because it's a hardscape. When you're doing your aquarium, the hardscape is the hard part, and it can absolutely make the aquarium or break the aquarium. The second reason for replicating a natural habitat is because most people with driftwood have a Amazon biotope or a blackwater aquarium. Now, Amazon fish need soft water, acidic water, and that's what the driftwood does. That's what replicates the natural environment. Dirt can do the same thing, peat moss and stuff like that, but driftwood is so much cleaner and so much easier. Driftwood releases a byproduct called tannin acids, and what that does, it doesn't foul the water, but if your fish don't come from these types of water, it can kill them because it'll lower the pH and it'll make the water soft. If your fish like hard water and they like alkaline water, then it's not good for them. But if you have Amazonian fish, then this is perfect for them. It also promotes insanely well breeding. The driftwood's tannin acids promotes insanely well breeding with fish, especially angelfish and discus. It just replicates the natural environments. It adds the trace elements and chemicals that the fish need, and it helps trigger spawning. But other than that, guys, we want to know, how do you choose your driftwood from the wild, and how do you put it in your aquarium? I'm going to tell you my story, and you guys can go off that. Just take this video as a guideline because it's a rule of thumb. Just like if I tell you how to breed angelfish, it's not going to tell you everything you need to know. It's just going to tell you what you need to get started with. You really need to go out and do the research yourself. Just don't go to Google and take a quick search and say you know everything about it. You actually need to take the time of day and actually research it for a good amount of time. Not a day, not 2 days, not 3 days, but actually sit down and research this and get familiar with it. So, adding driftwood, what I did, I'm in between the Potomac River and the Rappahannock River. Some of you guys know where I live, some of you don't. That's mine to know. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Anyways, I live in between these two rivers, and I always wanted to get some driftwood from the wild. Who doesn't? That's why you're watching this video. And I went to the Potomac River about 2 or 3 years ago, 3 years ago probably, and I got these two pieces and a lot of smaller pieces that I threw away, which were really good pieces, and I don't know why I threw them away. They had a lot of character. But I was on and off about curing these two pieces. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with them, and I finally decided that I'll put them in my 125-gallon tank. If I had kept steadily on curing these two pieces, it would have probably taken me about a little over a month to cure them. Now, what I mean by curing is making it aquarium safe, or making it waterlogged and aquarium safe. Now, the best thing you can do when you're selecting driftwood from the wild is actually know what to look for and find something that's already been weathered. And what I mean by weathered, exposed to the elements. You want to make sure that it's been hit by the snow, the sleet, the blazing sun of summer, the heat, the rain, every little element of nature that can whoop ass. That's what you want it to be exposed to, because that's going to cure the driftwood or petrify it or make it aquarium safe. And when you're looking for driftwood, you want to make sure it doesn't have any bark on it. When you put driftwood in your tank that has bark or, fungus and stuff on it, it's just going to pollute the water. The bark will fall off and create underwater fungus. It's not going to be good for your aquarium. When you find a piece of driftwood, there's a couple things to look for. When you're finding big pieces like this, you want to make sure that the bark is completely stripped. You can strip it yourself, but it's going to take longer to cure. That's why I said find pieces that's already been weathered for you, because it's going to be easier for you to transition into your aquarium. Take your fingernail, thumbnail, whatever nail you want, or take a knife or a metal nail, poke it, and if it deteriorates or falls off, then you've got a bad piece. And what I mean by that is, if you can poke it and pieces start falling off, then it's just going to crumble in your tank when it's exposed underwater. It's just going to deteriorate. If it's solid, of course you're going to get a little movement when you poke it with your nail. It's going to make a little puncture, but as long as it doesn't fall apart, you're fine. You can start curing these pieces. Now, there's different types of woods out there that you can't put in your aquarium, and I'll be completely honest with you guys. I'm a genius when it comes to aquariums, but I don't know everything. Google search what trees you can't put in your aquarium, because I'm absolutely sure that some trees have toxins that cannot go into your aquarium. Definitely research that before you put any piece of wood in your aquarium. Now, with the branching pieces like that, the twigs, that gets a little bit harder. You don't want to go out and just find a maple tree and take a branch and put it in your aquarium, because I'll tell you what's going to happen. I've tried this without fish. It will break apart and deteriorate, and that's one reason is because it has not been exposed to the elements. Yes, it's been outside thriving, but it has not been exposed while it was dead. It needs to cure, weather, and basically make itself aquarium safe. What I mean by that is these pieces right here, and I've got a couple pieces right here that I haven't been using. These might go in a future shrimp tank, and yeah, this would look great in a shrimp tank. Just imagine little cherry shrimp and blue shrimp, yellow shrimp, all in these branches. Anyways, these pieces were tree roots. And what I did, and I'll be completely honest, I have no idea what kind of tree it was. And that's not good advice. Like I told you, research, don't be like me. But when you find these pieces, you can tell this is different from a maple or anything that's just been chopped off the tree. When you look at it, it's not decaying anymore. It's not decaying, it's not falling apart. These branches should have a little bit of bend. Yeah, I know that a fresh piece of branch would have bend to it, but if this thing has been dead for like 3 years, if you had bent this like that, it would have snapped in half. And what that's telling me is it's cured. It's been exposed to the elements. So that's one thing you absolutely want to look for. But I really don't advise you getting pieces like this unless you're familiar with driftwood, because it's a little tricky. The only thing you can really do is basically sink it in a bucket or something underwater and see what happens. If it falls apart, it falls apart. If it stays together, it stays together. This piece has bark still on it and it's doing fine. The bark hasn't fallen off yet. Like I said, these pieces have been underwater before for a couple months in a different tank that I haven't showed YouTube, and the bark's still on there. It's petrified. It's cured, so I know it's good. But guys, boiling driftwood, what that does is speed it up, and you'll find all these articles online saying you can boil your driftwood for 4 hours and it'll sink. That's absolutely complete bogus. Like I said, you really got to cure it yourself. The best way to do it, I do recommend boiling it, because that'll kill some parasites or microorganisms that are inside the wood that you don't want getting in your aquarium. It'll only make the wood safer. There's nothing wrong with boiling it, and it will speed the process up. Definitely boil it, because it'll kill those harmful organisms that live inside the wood. That way you don't introduce it to your aquarium. But the best thing you can do is just take a trash can, a bucket, a pool of water or something, and just zip tie it to a center block and sink it for a couple months, and then come and check on it. If it floats, it floats. It's not ready yet. And if it sinks, then you can put it in your aquarium. Driftwood also is beneficial to plecos and stuff. Plecos need bark in their diet, and that's why a lot of people, I mean, there's people out there who never fed a pleco bark in their life, and they had them for 10 years. But bark or driftwood is beneficial to a pleco's diet. That's what I gotta say about driftwood, guys. This is just a guideline, outline. Go check it out yourself. Get your feet wet with it. That's the only way to learn. But just get familiar with it and do your research, guys. Comment, rate, and subscribe. Definitely go check out the Wayne's Fish World page on Facebook. A lot of sneak peeks over there. You can vote on videos you want to see and see what I'm doing to my own tanks before I even post it on YouTube. Share this video. It'll be definitely a great help to me, guys. And be sure to subscribe. That'll be a great help too. Share the video. Just, share all that good fish knowledge with the community, guys. Comment, rate, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. This is Wayne with Wayne's Fish World. Later.